To the Parahouse Entertainment Network. Come join us as we take you deep into the fire to the paranormal realms of hauntings, UFOs, ETs, alien abductions, strange creatures, and the vastness of universal consciousness as we continue to seek what is not supposed to exist as we search for the truth that only comes from going into the fire. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Into the Fire. It's a rainy Tuesday night here in Kentucky and in Tennessee, but we are going to do our best to give you our best. Tonight, kind of an odd night. We're going to have a open chat just with Billy, myself. Tanya will be along here in a little bit. She's helping out someone with a little bit of homework. We got to make sure that gets done. And so we're looking at the chat room, and hello, chat room, and thank you for tuning in. We look forward to your questions and topics that you may want to discuss. Nothing's off the table. We will try to do our best to answer all questions, all incoming questions. So we'll see how that goes. Billy, what are you up to, buddy?
Oh, I'm looking at the chat room.
Are you?
I am. Actually, I had a pretty relaxing day today. I kicked back, and it was a gloomy, rainy day, so I spent a lot of time watching the History Channel. Pretty good show on Roswell.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Gotta love the Roswell stuff. 1947 started it all. Half the stuff that we're into today is all because of Roswell, I'm sure.
Yep.
So, it's like going amazing stuff. And we've been looking at photos of paranormal pictures as people have been sending us, and that's pretty cool too.
Uh-huh.
So we're kind of geeked up and looking at kind of interesting stuff. Love to see that good stuff. If it's the real stuff, it is the best. And we've had the hall's been active. We've had a lot of groups up there. Had a great group up there last night. Unfortunately, this old man can't remember their team name, but there were 4 great ladies. 3 of them were from Ohio, one from Russellville, Kentucky. And I just really loved talking to them for a little bit. And I hope they had a super night. I didn't go to the hall today, but I'll be looking forward to their notes and see what happened. So awesome times. I did stop out and get a salad today and swing by and sit down and smoke a cigar at my favorite rest stop, which was on out in front of the History Museum, the Historical Society of Franklin today. Got to see Billy Wilkerson and say hi to him, and that's always a fun thing to do. So we were happy to do that. Try to get him on the show here soon and talk about what's going on at the old jail also. So a lot of good things. Who's in the chat room anyway, Billy? What are we looking at? Hey, Bridget. She's in there. Nikki Wharf, how are you? We still need to finish our conversation, darling, sometime when we get an opportunity to. Beth Allen, hello there, Beth. Good to see you. And Frankie Lynn, hi. And we'll just see how the rest of the night goes. And there is the wonderful Tanya. How you doing, Tanya?
Doing pretty good. We were trying to finish up a little homework.
That's what I was telling everybody. You're doing a little bit of homework. I need to do a lot of homework. Yesterday and today, that is all I was doing. But for some reason or other, I got hit with. I was planning on doing something totally different. And actually reviewing some evidence, and then something just hit me in the head. You ever had that happen when it just hits you, and all of a sudden you're like going, okay, I have to do this now. I can't do anything else. This has got to be done. So I spent all day yesterday and part of this morning researching stuff and putting it up because I just know I'm going to need it sometime. And maybe we'll need it tonight on the question. Who knows? But
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was pretty. Uh, it's just those things, you know. You want to go, got to get this done, and then God puts something else in your head and goes, "Nope, we better do this now." And you
Right.
say, "Okay, that's what I'm
Yep.
going to do."
Everything else gets dropped.
Yep. Yeah. But, yeah. Very, very cool. Very, very cool though.
Yeah. No, we were doing school homework, so that crap's gotten complicated over the last 30 years.
Oh yeah, especially
It's
now.
nowhere
I
near
mean,
what it was, and it's on a computer. It's not, on paper like we were growing up with.
oh yeah. But do they write anymore? Do they use
I don't think
cursor
so.
anymore?
I don't even think they teach them cursive anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
No
That's
kidding.
crazy.
I'm not even sure they even have textbooks anymore.
Yeah, because it's all on the computer. They look everything up, and then she flips back and forth looking at different segments of pages that she's reading, and then goes back to the questions.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's
Why
crazy.
couldn't school been that way for me? Good God.
I don't know. That would have been great.
That would have been great. I mean, that would have been like, instead of all night long or a week for projects and homework, you'd be able to burn it out in one night by using the internet. That's awesome.
Yes. Or hauling around that massive backpack with all the books in it.
Yeah, I hated that. I hated
Me
it.
too.
It didn't fit well on a motorcycle either, so I hated that. But yeah, so I didn't bring very many books home.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, my locker barely fit all my textbooks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember those days, man. It was like, golly.
There were no rooms for shelves and chandeliers and things like that they can hang in their lockers now.
Well, y'all got vanities in them now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They still
Oh, we got a bathroom in it. I
lockers.
thought we got individual bathrooms now.
I gotta get my hair did.
Yeah. Excuse me while I go into my
I get my
beauty
face
shop.
did.
I don't know. Now I remember, those old days, and since I'm the old guy here,
oh yeah, you're so much older.
Yeah, I remember those conversations that my dad used to have. You had it so good. You have it so good. We used to have to walk 3 miles in this dripping snowstorm to get to school.
Oh Lord, I almost went into a dirty Melvin T-Rex joke.
Oh God.
Yeah.
We love you, Melvin. I know you're in the chat room.
Hey, Melvin, what do you say, buddy? If you want to, we'll send you a link on Facebook, and you can jump in too if you're up to it. I apologize, I didn't do that earlier, but can you do that, Billy, or you want me to do that?
Yeah, I can send him a link if he's up to it.
Yeah, if he's up to it, just as long as he's got his shirt on and everything. We had a cancellation with a guest, and we were trying to run back and forth to see if we could get one. So we just thought we would have a great night with our chat room and see what the chat room has to say to us and what they'd like to talk about. And we haven't done that in a long time. And
anybody got any questions or subjects? What do y'all want to talk about?
Yeah, well, it's Nikki Worf was asking again about Billy. Billy mentioned he was watching the History Channel. She wants to know what show it was. So,
yeah, I put it up there for you, Nikki.
Cool.
I think it was History of the Unexplained.
And the topic was Roswell today.
It was like a 4-part series, so
which is
really
awesome.
Interesting.
Ada Cox, how are you doing? How's things in West Virginia? It's raining like a dog here.
Wish we were in West Virginia.
I'm still feeling it.
I know.
Vicky Norris. Nice. Hi, Nick. Vicky, how you doing?
Melvin said he's got a pass.
He's got a pass. That means he's naked. Thank God.
Or eating Mexican.
Yeah.
Or eating Mexican. Yeah, one or the other.
Maybe he's got to pass gas.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, Ada's got a question for you, Bear.
Oh, yes. Hello, Ada.
She says, and I lost it. How did you first get into the paranormal?
That's a great question. Am I into the paranormal? the paranormal kind of found me at a very young age.
You're deep into.
Yeah, I'm deep into the far. But yeah, the paranormal found me at an early age. I was always that weird kid in school, but after my grandfather died in '63, I started seeing him a lot. I'd hear voices a lot. I was abducted in '64, which turned my world upside down as a kid. You don't go around telling people, "Hey, I was abducted by space aliens," but it was a great story. But that's what made me start saying things like, "Do you know that you could actually walk through that wall? We're taught to, that we're programmed to know that that wall is solid." So that's the way I went through my whole life, talking like that and doing things, and it's always been that way for me. And in 1976, I was fortunate enough. I was working in radio, and I got to meet a wonderful guy. They sent me to do an interview with a gentleman by the name of Hans Holzer. And Hans Holzer has written several books. He's like the great grandfather of the paranormal, parapsychologist, the whole nine yards. And I got to interview him in Case Western Reserve. And as we were doing that, I had a nifty little brand new Marantz with a dual set dual cassette deck with it, and it was radio stations. And he asked me to, he said, "Hey, look, my sound guy is going to have problems." He said, "Can you, would you like to come to the investigation and we can use your recorder and we'll run some sound with it?" And I says, "Excellent, I'd love to. Let's do it." So we did, and got to talk to him some more, talk to him after the investigation. And I just kind of went from there. And I do it all. I have seen, when I was a kid in high school, saw strange creatures, cryptos, all of that. Dealt with through school, witchcraft, demonology, all that. My first wife was a Cubano, and after our son died at a very young age, she went back into Santeria. So I spent 4 years dealing with that also. So I've seen quite a lot of different stuff. But thanks for the question. I hope I answered it for you.
Vicky's got another one for you. She says, where were you when you were abducted, Bear? Which region? Or what region?
I was in Massillon, Ohio in 1964 on 8464 Trapehagen Road. Don't forget that thing. I don't know why. It's buried into my head. It's country now. Now it's just full of houses and everything else. Farms gone where the thing landed and all that. And I was in my bedroom, and we had kind of like a ranch style house that had a garage underneath of it. You drove down and got into there, and there was a basement underneath there. And my room was kind of like over the garage, but facing the street. And 4 light beings came into the room, and 2 on one side of the bed, 2 on the other side of the bed. And I remember screaming and yelling, and my mom and dad were right across the hallway, and they didn't hear a dang thing. And I remember the ETs telling me, "Don't worry, we're not here to hurt you. We just want you to come with us." And they can't hear you, so the more you yell, the more you scream, it's not going to do you any good. And I remember being walked out right through a wall. I had no doorway or anything else to get out. We went right through the wall, ended up on the outside of the house. And remember walking through the yard, in about an acre yard, and then across the street to an old farm that had a corn crop in there. And I remember walking with these aliens into this thing where I saw a craft, and it was on a tripod. I don't know how we got up. I think we were kind of beamed up into it. I didn't see any stairs or anything. And then it got to the point where When I got into the thing, it looked a lot bigger than it was outside. And if you talk to a lot of people who have been through abduction scenarios and everything else, that's one of the things that they'll say when you're looking at the outside of the ship. It looks like it's a 40-foot long thing, very small. But when you're inside, it looks massive. There are multiple rooms you see forever. And how they pull that off, I still don't know this day, but that's exactly the way you feel about it. And I remember being taken into a room. I remember laying down on a very cold table. I remember seeing a large, tall alien, grayish white, with a kind of like a coat, like a lab coat on. And the last thing I remember was him coming down. He was on my left side. He came down and his eye touched my left eye and gave me the old butterfly kiss, and he gave me a butterfly kiss, which that's the way I can describe it. The next thing I know, I woke up screaming and yelling in my room, and my mom and dad was like right there. And then the next morning, they were just telling me I had a bad nightmare, whole 9 yards. And then my dad got asked on his way to work. He worked for Republic Steel, and he got asked by the farmer as he was going to work at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Did you see any strange lights out there? We got something that landed in my field and it's destroyed some of my crop. And
how old were you?
9.
Yeah. Did it ever happen again?
Happened a bunch of times. It waylaid until my didn't happen that I know of during a period of time for about maybe 7 years, and then it happened again and again, and it's happened all through my whole life.
So, now that first time it happened, didn't you get detained?
I've been detained. Yes, I did.
That wasn't a pleasant ride, was it?
No. Well, that it stems from that morning afterwards, and kids are kids. And I woke up, and Mom was looking outside and watching this. And as you looked across, you saw police. You saw the wonderful, Air Force cars out there, all kinds of different stuff. I mean, we're talking 1964, and the Air Force had like a bluish creamy colored car, and it would say Air Force on the side of it. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not, but I sure do. And so the next thing I know, I'm getting dressed, going out to play, and I'm trying to see what they're doing. So I'm taking the back way around the neighborhood into the back part of the field, walking in to see what I could see, and found a tripod area where the field was crushed down. I mean, nobody there, I thought. And then the next thing I know, I am immediately detained, walked like somebody had a hand on my ear pulling me across. That's what it felt like. It wasn't, and then coming to the front door and being knocked on, and very strange. There was a gentleman that was smoking a pipe, and later I saw him smoking a cigar, and his name was Mr. Heineck, and he took me to my door and told my mom that I had been exposed to radiation and I had to go to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So that was not a pleasant day. Dad had to take the day off. They did not go with me. I was transported by them in a vehicle to Wright-Patterson. And then I spent 2 days in Wright-Patterson, and my mom, Dad didn't talk the whole way home. So, and pretty interesting stuff. And I won't go into the details that went on at Wright that I remember, but I'm pretty positive I know what went on there. But that changed my whole life, all across the country. I mean, all of that changed everything, because at that point I knew that in some way that they've always kept an eye on me.
Now, Frankie Lynn says, looking back now, any idea why they chose you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I think that they've known me. I think it's because of my family is also younger years of grandmas, grandpas, and great uncles. Aunts have always talked about the gray little people and aliens and spaceships and all that stuff. So it's in my DNA, I think.
So you
And I
think it's like a bloodline kind of thing? Certain bloodlines,
I do, and I think that happens to a lot of abductees. And as they, even the ones that are coming out later in life, that are abducted in their 30s and 40s, I think that they also find out later that it is definitely got something to do with heredity.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
now a lot of abductees, isn't it common for them to go through sort of an awakening?
oh yeah, well, it's tough because your whole life changes. And at my point, I was young and my life changed, but it was not like it would be if you were living 30 years as an adult and all of a sudden waking up and finding out that everything that you've ever been taught, everything that you've ever known is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where people have the most hardest problems. I mean, they just wake up and they're like going, crap, I used to tease people about this stuff. And now here I am sitting there going, I've been damn abducted. I can't tell people. And they feel very bad about it. They feel apologetic to it, and everything in their whole life has changed. So it's very serious business, and it's hard. But where you were going with it, I think, Billy, was that, yeah, some of them have been given gifts or some things. I will mention Eric Mitchell. I remember talking to Eric Mitchell after for several times, and we still talk to this day, and he has become a very good friend of mine. And David Trusty, which we've had on here also, is another one. And some of the other ones I deal with, I haven't mentioned to the people, but I still deal with a lot of different abductees. But like Harry's case, next thing I know, he is able to match frequencies in his head. He knows frequencies. It was bizarre because I called him one day, and here's this guy from Arkansas that talks like this, and the real kind of, and anybody that's ever talked to Eric, it's like going, Eric is like a science teacher,
right?
And super educated,
and it never stops.
Right, it never stops. And he is a sponge for knowledge, and his IQ increased tremendously over that. I have seen a lot of abductees where their IQ does pick up, and they become special. They have other abilities. Some people have the gift of sight. They can see a lot of different things. They're woken up to that in their feelings and their energies. So yeah, it's very interesting on how it works, and they're very sensitive people. So.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this one guy, I'll never forget it. He had like a 4th grade education. And when he would talk about magnetics, it was like, get the class book out. This guy he was out to make a UFO. He was given the instructions on how to do it, knew what drove him, knew the whole 9 yards. And man, when he talked that way, it was just it was a jaw dropper. I'm like going, wow, you can't hardly even put 4 or 5 sentences together sometimes. And now you're talking about magnetics and how they all work and all this stuff. And it was amazing with him, and I loved him to death. I mean, he's just a special person. So there's a lot of people like that out there, and unfortunately, a lot of people take advantage of them, like our our wonderful government. I'll watch what I say about that. So I don't want anything to happen like it did last week.
Yeah, I don't even know what I don't even know what happened there.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the question.
on a roll
It's
last
awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. So thank you.
Any other questions, guys? And I always love the story that you told me when it happened to you again, and you said that they told you you were getting it wrong.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was when I was in. I was about 18 years old. That was a amazing thing. I had left my girlfriend's house, and for some darn reason, freeway right by our house, and I could have been home in 5 minutes. And I just go, wow, let's drive in the country. I'll take the back roads home,
Mhm.
And as I'm going home on the back roads, a big light comes, and I thought I was in a damn wreck. I kid you not. Hit me like a bullet, and I thought I was on a head-on collision. And the next thing you know, I wake up. My car is running on the side of the road, and I'm in it. Everything else is good, and it felt like I'd have been ripped out of the back of it, but somehow I got back into it. And as I was sitting there, I can remember what they were saying. They were saying, "You're doing this all wrong. You've got to look at the history. You have to look at this. You have to look at all these ancient things and study this. And this is where it's all going to benefit you, and you'll understand." And so that's when I really changed my life and started doing that at that early age. And very interesting. It was. It was. And, I've had, poor Tawana. We've been married for 20 years. She's my fourth wife. And I've had several different occasions with her. I mean, I remember her saying, I know you did this stuff, but I just didn't know that it was this weird.
I love her stories about waking up in the middle of the night and your arms up in the air.
I know.
And she's like,
Yeah.
"You're not doing this tonight."
Yes, yeah. She has. She's ripped my arm down, and I start doing the chanting and speaking in tongues and all that other stuff.
Speaking
And,
Yoda.
Yeah, Yoda.
Like, not
And then
Like, I
she
gotta
doesn't like
work.
the part when I wake up and I got blood on me and I'm bleeding from someplace or somewhere else. And yeah, she's seen a lot. And then there's the times when the people who watch me, which we are watched, she goes, she'll be standing out in the front, looking out the window or something. She'll be going, "What have you done now? What have you posted on Facebook? What have you done?" So, yeah, poor Tawana.
She said yes.
Yeah.
So all the above.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and more that just strange stuff. I mean,
Okay, Vicky Norris asks, makes you wonder if they're checking the bloodlines because of
Starseed.
yes, starseed, or that they merge genetics and how it decreased or increased through family over time.
I think it's very possible. I think that they were involved. That they could be involved in the creation of mankind in certain ways. God is the supreme source and had a lot to do with it. But I'm sure that one of the things that I remember reading in the Bible that stood out to me was in Genesis when it says, "We made man in our image," and that is plural.
Mhm.
That's just I made him in my image. No, I made him in our image.
Mhm.
So that means that that's a plural use of that word. May have been translated that way, but it does seem like that for some reason that stuck in my head a lot, and it still does to this day. And but there are good and wonderful beings out there that are this way, and there's also ones that are terribly bad. And I've had the pleasure of meeting both, and then I've also had the pleasure of being my labbed before, which is terrible. I'd rather be shot dead than be my labbed. But and my lab, to people who don't understand my labs, the best way I can describe it is it's the government with maybe help of another alien source that actually abducts you and does experiments to find out what they are doing to you. And it is painful, believe me. Ask people that have gone through it.
Nikki Wharf Edge says, do you think they choose certain ones of us and let us keep all the memories? If so, what do you think they let us remember? Why do you think they let us remember it all?
Truthfully, I think there's people that will never remember it. I think that there are people out there that have been abducted several times and don't even know that they were abducted.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point, they're going to be opened up and they're going to go up, and then they're not going to. That's why we have the problems we have right now with abductees and the things that they go through.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And a lot of the stuff that I've studied and seen on it, I still think it ties to bloodlines, because these people will find out later on, or they'll get the light bulb will go off and they'll remember grandma or grandpa talking about
exactly.
the same
Exactly.
thing, just like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cheryl says many think it's a dream.
Yeah. Well, they do. They do. But when you wake up and you're dreaming and you've got blood on your pillow, or you've got blood coming out of your navel or somewhere other parts, and you've got cuts and weird things on your body and scoop marks, that ends a dream pretty quick. But I think some people are, and don't get me wrong when I say this. I'm just throwing this out there. I think that some people have lived many, many lives and have been around a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that that is something that they can't mind fog you, if you will. There's something about being able to mind fog you, or be able to take the stuff in anything that's happening out there, MK Ultra type stuff, the kind of stuff that they're trying to do to change your brainwash you into believing certain things. And there are certain people that just do not take to that programming. That frequency does not exist in their head, and they cannot do it. And they want to know why. I mean, that's a bad thing when they want everybody to do it, and there's a few people that do. So those are normally the people who will remember their abductions, and it's like going when they bring you back through this. It's supposed to erase your mind or erase that memory, but sometimes we find that it doesn't in our cases, and people astral project. Some of the abductees do quite a lot of different things.
That's kind of leading me into another topic.
Yeah.
We were talking about dreams. Let's go to the consciousness.
Oh, I love consciousness. So.
Everybody's, doctor, scientist, whatever. Everybody's got their own opinion about things, but I personally believe that it's so much more.
Oh, it is.
I mean, we've all had those very vivid dreams where we sit straight up and we're like, "Holy shit, did that just happen?"
Yes.
And then there's other times like, "Well, that was weird. Why did I dream that?" And you go right back to sleep.
Right.
And pick right back up where you left off.
Yep.
And reoccurring dreams.
Yes.
There's a message in there.
Yes. Consciousness is continual. Mm-hmm. That's why a lot of times when we look at consciousness, is what I think, and it's up to you guys to. I'm not asking everybody to believe what Bear believes, but it's all about. I think that consciousness is energy. We are all energy. We have been here a lot, and we don't die. We come back. We are always energy. Energy exists. And you have the choice to come back.
In our dreams as well with other people that we've never met before.
Right, exactly.
And they tell you that you only dream about places that you've ever been and people you've ever seen, but that's not true.
Yeah, and we went into that from deja vu effects. I mean, that's what
Daydreams.
Yes.
they. Yeah, you know,
So-called daydreams.
Yes.
right. You
I
know,
can remember, many times when I was doing the 12-hour shift in the printing business and coming home early in the morning from work, and there would be a 30-minute stretch of road that I don't remember traveling.
right,
And
right.
all of a sudden, like, holy shit, how did I get here?
Yeah,
Or
driving
with
while
you all the
blind.
time. I wonder what Bear's doing. And 3 seconds later, the phone
phone's
rings.
ringing.
Guess
Yes,
who's on the other line?
yeah,
You know,
that's exactly
Yep.
exactly right. And
there's a
those
lot
are
of
the
stuff that people don't really put a lot of thought into, but
right. And where I was talking to that with an individual the other night, and I was even saying it to the point where don't overguess that. Don't turn around. You know, if you're driving and all of a sudden you miss your exit, you will automatically know, well, there's another way I can go.
Mm-hmm.
And don't go around and turn back and go on that exit because that wasn't supposed to be. It was
There's a
meant for
reason.
you to, there's a reason. Someone is watching over you and telling you, don't go that way.
Mm-hmm.
And
Or if you
yeah,
leave, you intend to leave at a certain time, and
but you
something
don't.
happens because
Yes.
you can't make it at that time. Don't
Yep.
stress out. There's a reason.
Right. And
Usually,
how?
I know me personally, I went, I was so adamant on being on time, to
Mhm.
do certain things in a row to get everything done in one day, missed that deadline of time and found out that there was an accident down the road and we had missed it by that time frame.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the
fight
kind
or
of,
flight.
Right.
yeah, right.
Where do you
Exactly.
think that's coming from?
I think it's coming from
The back of
our
your
own.
noggin?
Yes, way back in the back of our noggin. You know, there are parts of our lives, as you and I, as we've talked about it several times, and you know, there is that special energy and bond between people and also between lives because we also know that we've known each other in past lives,
Yes.
you know, and we're bound to be here together. And that's part of the thing. We have a job to do, and this is what we
Yes.
do.
And you
And I,
gravitate back together when the
yes,
timing is
exactly.
right.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And I know that sounds strange to a lot of people, but there's a reason for all that,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
People
and
come in and out of your life at the right
mhm,
time and the right place.
in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not, this is, you know, your life is planned out in a way,
Right.
but you also have the right and you have free will, so you can go against that. But, you know, you don't ever give up your free will, folks. Free will is the most important thing that you ever have. Don't commit to anything else and do something that you know in your heart's wrong. I was working on writing something the other day and I was sharing it with somebody else. And basically, what it says is that, you know, there's one universal law. And in that law, uh, if you fear, if you have self centered desires or you're self centered about an ego, then you never get to hear the inner voice that is talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
And if that inner voice always knows the truth because that is God speak, okay? And if you listen to God speak, then you will understand the true truth. If you have other things, you can't hear it. It's not part of your hearing production. You know, you
Yep.
can't even think it because it's you've shut it off. But anyway,
Yep. And you can be someplace and be totally lost where there's a lot of people around, and there will be that one person that comes and just says the briefest thing to you that puts you back in line in where you were going and helps you without even.
exactly, exactly. When I would go places and I would be sitting there and I'm like going, so what am I doing here this early? Why am I here? You know, and all of a sudden somebody walks up to me and goes, you don't know me, but I need to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like going, I know why you're here. Sit down. You know,
Yep.
and that's just the way that it is.
Mm-hmm.
You're, people are brought to you. If some people need help and need assistance, they find you. Doesn't
Yep.
matter,
It's
But
just
at the
like
same
walking up
time,
to the store and a total stranger.
Yeah.
You make eye contact, and
exactly.
before you know it,
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. You're hearing a story that you understand, and possibly you can help them.
I don't
And
know why I'm telling you this, but
Yeah.
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It always starts out that way too.
Yeah, it does. It does,
I've
and
never met you
it's
before, but I
awesome.
feel like I know you.
Right, right, and
Yep.
but it's awesome to see that grow and that person go away and take that stuff away from it. And some people that you talk to don't hear. They don't hear it. But when that happens, I'm always praying for them that somewhere else down the road that they find a Billy, a Tanya, a Beth Allen, someone else that they can come up to and speak to. And maybe if I couldn't tell them and get them to turn uh, their life around or understand what I'm saying, then hopefully maybe someone else can help them understand that, and they can change and go in the right direction. So
Mm-hmm.
I
pretty
mean,
awesome.
my honest opinion is once you stop being deconditioned,
Yes.
so much more opens up to you.
Right. Exactly. When you start to be realize that the world is not the black and white thing that you have been taught about, and there are these other things that are around, and the paranormal is one of those things that helps us in that, because just look at all the things that we have encountered that most people don't even get to see. Even other paranormal teams don't get to see it. They don't get it. And unfortunately, we've been cursed or blessed to be able to see some pretty odd things. So
Yep.
Yeah, we still call ourselves the most wanted. Hey, real quick, I want to say we've got a lot of light workers here in the chat room tonight.
Yes,
I
we
see
do.
that's awesome.
Serenity. I
That's
see
awesome.
Serenity in here. I see
Hey, Serenity
Angel
Jenny,
Lee.
how
Angel
you
Lee
doing?
joined us.
That
Angel,
is
we're
excellent.
getting storms here too. William Nighthawk, how you doing, brother?
Yes, hello, William. And it's just great to have all these great people on there. I see Todd and Leanne, and
See Cheryl
everybody's
Gibson
all
in
here. So
here.
this is like the oh wow kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And by no means, it's not all. This is not the Bear Show. Tanya and Billy have all the my greatest respects on what they know and what they've been through, and how
Well,
they
you know
have
what?
gone. So.
I've been blessed to have you guys with me along my journey because you
Mhm.
guys see me pull some pretty crazy crap.
Yeah.
And I have had a request for us to start filming our road trips and shit because everybody wants to see the blooper reels.
Right,
Nothing
right.
but a blooper reel.
It is. It's nothing but a
Yeah,
blooper reel, people.
yeah. Well, yeah. The whole trip's a blooper reel. It is. I gotta tell you.
And don't get me around mirrors.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no. I still remember that so well. That
I don't know
was
what I did, but I
awesome.
did something.
So yeah,
Oh, yes,
that's
you
it.
did.
Yes, you did. All I could see is this pinging, going bing, 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 bing,
Yeah,
bing,
but
bing,
before
bing.
we saw that, all we heard was, guys,
I did
can you
something
step
wrong.
back here for a second? We're like, oh, God.
What'd
Yeah.
you do now?
Yeah. Stuck between two mirrors.
Did you say my hair was standing up?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The beard was curled.
Just the look of, oh, shit on his
Shit,
face.
yeah. Something's really wrong
That was
here.
a bad idea.
Yeah, that would have been. There's a few. That whole night
Vicky
was an
Morris.
interesting night. So
Vicky wants to know the love story of how Tanya and I we worked at Walmart.
Yep. And
She followed me. She stalked me.
no, I didn't. We were the same height and couldn't see each other over the counters, and we'd run into each other every day.
She was stalking me.
He was stalking me. We would always wind up on break and lunch at the same time. It was just every time I would think, well, I'll wait a little while. It was like a little voice going, no, you got to go now. And then I would go out there and he'd be out there. And we just started talking.
Felt like we always knew each other.
Yep.
Yep.
We didn't have to text or anything like that. It was just kind of, we just met there at the same time without even trying.
And then I found out she was as weird as I was. Perfect match.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and
Where's the fun in being normal?
No, I thought, well, I'll either run him off or he'll stay, one of the two. But I
got to
totally
tell you
agree.
something. I mean, you guys get the opportunity. You know, I've been blessed to have the opportunity to be with these people for several years, and it is just a blessing that you just don't get to see. I love these people to death, and it was so wonderful, you know, when they got married, and they got married at Nottingham Hall. That was like the place that was supposed to happen. And for the people who really enjoy Nottingham Hall and know Nottingham Hall, that was put together by the spirits. Let me tell you something. They wanted that to happen there. And if you were there
we
that
try
day,
to fly under the radar with that, you know, just
Yeah.
to keep it small. But
yeah.
the guest list was quite large.
It was.
Yeah, Bear probably would have
Definitely
shot
was.
us.
It definitely was. It definitely was.
Because I felt like everyone at the hall, you know, from the past, was there with us. I mean, we had crazy activity that day, and it was all good vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Angel Lee, I'll tell you, I was divorced, just got divorced. I was good being the crazy cat lady. I made a list so long and I never wrote it down because I didn't want anybody to find or know what my list was for anybody to meet my expectations. And every day he would come in and mark off one of my notches on my list, and I would create 10 more. And he just kept on, and I couldn't make up anymore.
Yeah.
It was just,
Yep.
It was meant to be.
You started taking lawn ornaments home. That's
Right.
You know?
He didn't have all of this at that time. That was 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
8 years ago.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's been a while.
You know, and we've known you. You've been with the team for a few years, but we knew each other before that also.
Oh,
And it was
yeah.
just a pleasure when we were able to get all together.
Well, we actually worked with you guys for a year before we actually became part of the team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and it was
But
funny.
we all know where it was going.
Yep.
Yeah, the first time we talked to you, and then we went home. I told Billy, I said, we know him. We've been together before. You know, we've all worked together before. And he said, I know. I said, just give it time. We'll all be back together again. And I just left it at that. And
Yeah, Bear's little gnome.
uh-huh.
Another stalker, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Stalker.
Leanne's giving him the shh.
Yeah. So, but hi Cheryl Gibson. How are you? So great to have you here. Serenity Jenny. I just saw you post something up here. Hey, lots of love to you also, darling. You're a very special person to a lot of people, and it's wonderful. And you mentioned, I see you have a comment here about consciousness. That's wonderful. We are all eternal, and that is the truth. We are, and Mike Walker. Hey, Mike, good to see you in here tonight. Energy does not dissipate, only transforms. And excellent point. Excellent point.
And why do you think I always say just move forward?
That's right.
Because that's what you're going to do regardless.
Yes. Yeah. Unless Jenny's standing next to you and she tells me, move backwards, Bear. Move away. Go farther away.
Yeah, I
Dang,
won't forget that either.
yeah, weird. So, and that's an inside joke, folks.
Ooh, Frankie Lynn says, "Hey guys, be on the lookout for my new paranormal, spiritual painting and jewelry stuff."
We'll be
Oh,
watching.
I cannot wait for that. And anybody who has people just don't know how talented Frankie Lynn truly is.
Yes.
And she is just an amazing person, has an amazing spirit, amazing soul, great energy.
Pics.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, wow, and she has, I can't wait to see some of her spiritual images.
Mm-hmm.
When she starts painting the, whoa, I'm going to be going, oh. So yeah, and
we'll be fighting over them.
right, exactly, yeah. But she is so dang talented and such a fantastic person.
And so many in the audience here tonight, they're the same way. You know.
Oh yeah, they are, and we thank you all for supporting us too. We can't do this stuff without you guys, and you guys make us.
Absolutely.
Want to do this every time we come in here. We do it for you. We're hoping that we can spread the love and just enjoy each other here. We try to make this family hour, and you guys are all our family. So thank you so much for allowing us to be that way with you guys. So, Angel Lee, you are such a special person also. Can't wait till you come up this way. I hear that there's some stuff in the works. If you want to put that in the chat room, I think that would be awesome. And Ada started going, reunion.
Yep.
and the same for you, Serenity. If you guys want to throw your links up there for your events coming up, please feel free to do so.
Yep.
Right. Exactly. And everybody's got some awesome stuff going on.
Hey, Brandon, we appreciate you doing that little field trip for us.
Oh yeah, taking those pictures for us, Brandon. That was awesome, and we appreciate that very much. We're still in a quandary about that, and I'm still investigating that. And
I tried to look up as much as I could about it, but there's not a ton.
There's a dead end there, sister. I'm telling you.
I still want to check out the women's club, but like you said, we might just have to send Tanya and Mama Bear.
Send somebody up. Send somebody to the women's club.
Out.
Yeah, because
do some investigative work.
Yeah, it's definitely beyond the beyond there. Let me tell you, there's something very.
Yeah.
And maybe sometime soon we'll take a picture of it. We'll get a better picture of it. Brandon did some good work on it, but we'll get something out. And
I'm pretty sure he said he had to foot about a mile on foot.
He did.
Oh, wow.
Through private property.
But what's really strange about it is that it is very visible from I-65. And when we travel, we see the weirdest things, and there's a reason why we do. And Billy and I talked about it, and I'm sure that we probably saw 3 or 4 things that stuck out in our mind. It just went, "Ooh, that's not right."
There's a lot of stuff in that area.
Yes, there is,
and it's still on the 37th parallel.
Right, exactly. Yeah, yep. That 37th parallel has got a lot to do with a lot of things, and
you may have to just take a weekend trip up there and check it all out.
Yeah. And I was talking about yesterday too, when we talk about 37th parallel and people who have certain feelings about it and everything else. I mentioned the team that was there last night, and I'm so sorry that I don't know the team's name, but the people that were there were so well grounded and had such great energy that I can't wait to see what and they understood the property. They understand that it's ancient, And that's all I'll say about Octagon Hall. But it's got everything there, and you have to respect it all. But it's also had tragedies, and it's also wounded, and it feeds off of all that. So, but yeah, super time. Now,
Yeah.
anything else that anybody wants to talk about?
Y'all got us. Throw them at us.
Yeah, what's going on in the? Well, I don't even want to say that because I'll get thrown off of the.
I will say it is wonderful though to see everybody getting out and moving around again.
Yes.
It is fantastic, and
it's nice to see people.
Yes, and not just see
Yeah.
other, no emotion, no nothing, and that's the bad thing about that. You don't understand it. No matter where it goes, they are stripping you from your identity. They're keeping you away from other people. They are selectively doing that, and I'm so glad that is over. Even though I still see some people that don't get it and are still doing that, but that's their choice and that's
right.
their will. So
some people have just gotten more comfortable with that.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Unfortunately, I hope something hits them with a 2x4 and wakes them up somewhere because, I'm sorry. I had to say that. You know how I am.
Yeah, we'll be cut off here in a minute.
Yeah, it won't take long. It won't take long. I didn't say anything like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's right. Freedom of speech, people.
Yeah, so.
Nikki wants to know what tribes were around the hall.
Well, back in the time of the hall, the oldest tribe was the Palo Indian tribes. It does date back to 3,000 years ago. There are a lot of things that found out, and if you know a history of the cave areas around there, and also about our wonderful friend and past buddy of ours, Billy Bird. He was into caving. He did a lot of archaeological things, and also worked with a lot of the colleges and Western on digs and so forth, and went into several caves and has pulled out many artifacts. So, and they all date back to the 3,000 range, which is the Palo Indians here. Now, you've got to remember that the Cherokee, the Shawnee, all of them were in this area and ran in this area.
The Miami, my heritage.
Yeah, Miami was, or also near the upper part of Kentucky. Kentucky was a very unusual place, and Kentucky was a great hunting ground. Buffalo, everything, and a lot of times people don't even Buffalo in Kentucky. No, there was a great place for hunting. It was well known for that, but it was also known for its creepiness and its weird things. So a lot of the tribes would bring hunting camps in here, but they did not actually live in the area. They would set up camps and move around the area and the caves and use that and everything else, but they were not stationary. They were more stationary around the area because of some of the lore that it had. And pretty interesting. And when you go back and look at the history of just even like Simpson County, where I'm at, it is quite odd to be able to read back about missing people. We have missing people all over the world today, but when families are sitting out there and they're having a lunch break or whatever, and dad walks out into the field and they're all watching walk out in the field, and then they see him disappear, he never comes back. There are tons of stories like that. Simpson County and Allen County has also been part of the area where you find a lot of different digs that went on with giants. There were a lot of giants found.
looking at something on that just the other day, and it's funny how all these giant's bones have disappeared.
Oh yeah.
You've got photos.
Yeah.
You've got photos of them in the excavated graves.
Yeah.
But where did they go?
I remember when we were up at 516 in Pennsylvania.
There's one right there.
Yeah.
Big bear.
Yeah, when we were up in 516, which we will call it, it was very mysterious, and just to see that they had dug up bodies and they pulled 163 bodies from a mass of graves, and they are not to be found anywhere. This certain kind of pottery.
The size of these giants, they range anywhere from 12 to 15 foot.
Some of them were smaller. Excuse me.
Just from the pictures that I've seen of the excavators with these bodies, half of them probably didn't even come up to their hips.
Right, exactly. A lot of them were 9 foot tall, and taller. The weird thing that they would find is they would find copper and other types of beading around them, which was not known to be. They weren't doing that yet. They weren't firing copper. They weren't doing that kind of stuff, but they would find ornamental things around them like that. And then the other weird thing about it is that their heads were so big that yours and my head would fit in their mouth, and they had 2 rows of teeth.
Look at the Bible. They talk about David and Goliath.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And the Nephilim. So there's a lot of different things out there. And one of the things that people don't understand, they like to destroy their history. They are making up your own. Here I go again. But anyway, if you look into it, you'll see.
Guys, if we vanish at any moment, feel free to jump over to our YouTube channel.
Yes, please.
So far, we've managed not to get kicked off of it.
Yeah. So yeah, but there is a lot of fibbing going on that they don't want you to know about, and it's so hard to be able to know, from our experience of being kicked off of and banned for life from things for saying your own thoughts and your own opinions in what I thought was the great American way and the constitutional way of free speech, to be able to teach and knowledge. So look, the things that we talk about, I guess that they're going to end up doing something terrible to us anyway. They'll just round you up and do whatever. So, and I'll be leading the way. Sorry about that. I thought I had my phone on mute, but yeah. So very interesting stuff. I would love to Serenity. Tell me what's going on. Type in what's going on. I haven't looked at that and seen what's happening. I'm looking at other questions. You see any other questions in there? Angeli, I can't wait to see everybody. That's really sweet of you. And you can find my events, and I'll put up a link, and I appreciate you all. Thank you, darling. Brandon says you're welcome. That was a rush trying to get it. Yeah, and it did. And he was at the hall, and I was like get going. So he was heading that way, and thank you so much for doing that.
Serenity's back. She said she got knocked off earlier, but she
said go figure.
Yeah, go figure. Go figure. There's a museum down I-65, I think. What does this say? No. There's a museum on I-65, I think, Cornersville, Tennessee, called the Wyatt Museum. He found a lot of proof of the Ark and other biblical artifacts. Whether or not they are open is the whole
different issue,
right? So, and it's funny, as I was saying earlier, when the Smithsonian Institute, Carnegie and all these things get together, and they're with colleges, and they're bringing these, they're doing these digs, and then you go to those colleges and to those places, and you ask, where are the bones? Can we see that? Let me see that odd pottery. Well, we don't. Case number so doesn't exist. We didn't. We never did that. Oh, yes, you did. You know, it's in the students. It's in everything else. And they're a smart town that you did this. Now, where is it? And it's terrible. You know, people don't want you to know your true history, folks. Connected with CC today. Excited for the next step. Fantastic. CC is Connecting Consciousness, and it is free to become a membership of it. You'll support your state and everything else. We have Zoom meetings every Thursday night. We do some stuff, and all we talk about is consciousness, other things that are going on in the world of society, and being able to help everybody else. And I hope and pray that there will be a great opportunity for Jenny to be able to speak, that we're working on that right now. I know that that was what I got a message that they were in contact with you, and they wanted you very interested in having you speak, and they were going to invite you to as soon as you do. And then I got asked to speak too, and I go, what do you want me to speak for? Jeez. But Serenity, you are all powerful beyond measure. So excited and hopeful for what's next.
We're excited ourselves.
Yep.
We are excited ourselves too, and it's a wonderful thing when a plan comes together, isn't it, Jenny? So
it's funny how we all get pulled together, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Julie Duggan, Angeli, hello. Sorry, nurse came in room again. Wow. I hope that you're.
Everything's okay.
Yes, we hope.
I hope everything's okay, and you are.
And energy your way.
Right. Exactly. And we would most gladly do that for you.
The power of prayer works.
Yes, it sure does. And when there's more than one or two of us doing it, it's a lot better off, because the power really flows at that point. Serenity Jenny says, I love it.
Serenity, you may end up on the blooper reels with us too.
Yeah. She says, how does it get any better than this? Sending love and healing. And we all are, Julie. And hopefully everything will come out fine for whatever's going on there. And if you're in there for
answers tomorrow.
Excellent. Fantastic. Other than that, guys, we're looking forward to seeing what our good friend, the spiritual painter, and Frankie Lynn's going to come up with. Anybody else doing anything exciting, coming up with some wonderful things that is
you guys let us
know for the whole group?
Yeah,
we'd love to hear what you guys are doing, and if we can support you and help you out in any way possible. So
I know we got some in the audience that is getting into Reiki, and
that's awesome too. That's an awesome healing source, and it takes a lot of patience and a lot of study to be able to do that, and it's a wonderful feel. Healing is one of those very honorable things. Not everyone can be a healer. Just trying to figure it all out, Todd Eskew
Here
says.
come to you, Todd.
Oh,
It
yeah.
ain't a race, brother. It ain't a
Yep.
race.
It comes to you when you surrender to it.
Yep. Beth
Yeah.
Allen too, going to throw down in the healing arena as well.
You go, girl.
We know that's
We
going to be
wish-
an arena.
We wish all of you guys the best. We know y'all been working on some secret projects. We know you've
Yep.
been going to some places, and
It's awesome.
we wish you all the best.
Yep. And we're happy for you.
I'm very, very happy. Very,
Absolutely.
very happy. Ecstatic, guys. And keep up the wonderful
Frankie,
work.
did she tap your root? I bet somebody just sprayed their cup of coffee.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't me.
That reminded me of Mama Bear the other morning at breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all got to forgive us. We're like that.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Try being in a car with them for 8 hours.
Melvin will pervert y'all.
Yeah, right.
I didn't say
Yeah.
convert. I said pervert.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yep. And day one.
That's funny. Serenity said that's extra.
Yeah, it is. It is extra. Well, guys, we thank you. We will be. We're looking at putting on some great guests here in the future. If you guys have anybody that you would like to see, for gosh sakes, tell us. And if you personally know them, have them contact us, and we would love to put them on the air and talk to them. And this is a sharing moment. We want everybody to be able to share about the things that they're doing and where they're going, and offer positivity to everyone. This is the time that is needed to be able to get all this together and to be able to do it. So we thank you all for sharing your time and your life. We thank you for the questions. I hope that the ones that I asked help people out and understand it and stand my weirdness now. So, but
Thanks for being part of our blooper reel.
Yep.
yes. Thank you. So it's very, very special. Share the love, peeps. Thank you so much, Joanne Stewart. Thank you. Ada, good night, everyone. And that's what we're going to say right now. We will see you next Tuesday on Into the Far.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Have an enjoyable night and enjoy your weekend. And we will see you here next week. Man, this is